Welcome back to the RabbiSmith.org Passover series. And you'll surely see fit to share the hope. This is a message of hope that we are looking to share with every single human being, the eternal messages of the Torah. Subscribe below so you'll know about the videos that are coming up and have the opportunity to share with your friends and family. Now, one of the critical turning points and essential turning points in the redemption from Egypt was when God Almighty instructed Moses to instruct the Jewish people to establish the first of the month of the month of Nisan, and then instructed the Jewish people to take on the 10th of the month the paschal offering, the sheep, which was an idolatry of the Egyptians, and to take that in the front in public, and to take it into their houses, and to make it clear to the Egyptians that the Jewish people were going to slaughter this idolatry, and that God Almighty was planning to bring a plague against the firstborn sons of Egypt. Now, what was required for that to happen was that the Jewish people had to recognize that they would be willing to take a stand and say the truth and to speak openly for the benefit not only of themselves, but for everybody in Egypt. Because Egypt had descended into such a state of disconnect from God Almighty that they were behaving in animalistic ways on every front of their lives. And the way to promote the idea and to show and to exemplify the idea that to get out of the physical slavery that every human being was in was first and foremost to get out of the spiritual slavery. Chu mishchu lechem is the instruction. Take and draw to yourself that you have to take this lamb to be able to get away from the negative and to draw close to the positive. That's how we get out of spiritual slavery. And then that leads to getting out of physical slavery. Now, incredibly, even as much as Moses was the greatest leader in all times, nevertheless, it wasn't enough for him to know God. It wasn't enough for him to be willing to lead the Jewish people. And it wasn't enough for him to make the proclamations. What was necessary was that every Jewish family, led by their father, the husband of the home, he had to lead his family to be the one to actually do this and take the risk of making the public stand. It was only through that the redemption was possible. Meaning to say, if we're expecting the leader to do everything for us, that won't cut it. We have to be willing to follow the instructions of the leader, that the leader is saying, you have to do it. Each one of you watching this video has to be willing to take the idolatry of this time and say, I am willing to dispose of that. I'm willing to slaughter that idolatry because I do want to free myself from it, and I want to free everyone around from it. And how do we free people from it? That is by showing them that we can dispose of it. It's not necessary. By taking something that people hold dear and they cherish, but it's not good for them, that it's leading them astray, that it's taking them into the depths of despair, the depths of exile, and saying, this you could do without. You can uncouple your belief in it from your own well-being. Then a person discovers that their well-being is something that's innate inside of them. It's not dependent on an outside force. It's not dependent on an outside behavior. It's not dependent on an outside idolatry. Rather, their innate well-being is something that comes from God Almighty, which is in everything. God Almighty is beyond creation, and He's creating everything in creation at every instant. So therefore, a person needs to uncouple themselves from all the distractions that he thinks that his well-being comes from the things around him, and the things he has already that he's afraid to lose, or the things that he doesn't have and he thinks he needs in order to have well-being. That is not going to take a person to any place other than a deeper and deeper exile. Yes, needs to uncouple himself from those things so that he can connect to God Almighty, who God Almighty is constant, is with us at every moment, and our well-being is now firmly recognized by ourselves, that it's something innate and not dependent on anything else or anybody else. And we will merit to learn the lesson of the redemption from Passover, because each one of us, a family unit, will make this decision to together to be able to lead our families this way and lead our communities that way, which then changes the entire nation and then changes the entire world for the benefit of every single human being. Don't forget to subscribe below and sign up at RabbiSmith.org so we can keep you posted about all the classes that are going on every week to teach and guide and inspire each one of us to connect to God Almighty, the God of Israel. Have a kosher and happy Passover.